It's another rainy day here in Florida, and what better meal to make on a rainy day than a roasted tomato soup and a grilled cheese sandwich? I'm Sebastian Regester, and this is Regester for Dinner, so stay tuned. There's something about tomato soup and a grilled cheese that really takes me back to my childhood. And if it does the same for you, make sure you go ahead and smash that subscribe button down below and hit that little notification bell, and welcome to the RFD gang. So to get started with your tomato soup, you want to obviously start off by roasting your tomatoes. So I have here in this bowl about 3 pounds of a nice blend of vine ripened and plum tomatoes, and I'm going to go ahead and cut them in half, get them nice and oiled, salt and peppered, put them on a sheet pan in the oven at 450 degrees. So you're going to want to roast these for about 45 or so minutes or until they get a nice charred look on them. While your tomatoes are in the oven roasting, it's a perfect time to get prepped with all your other vegetables. So I have here 2 small to medium-sized yellow onions, and I'm just going to give them a nice rough chop. Everything is going to get emulsified later with an emulsion blender, so you don't really have to be too precise with your chopping. Next, I have 6 garlic cloves that I'm going to go ahead and mince. Now that your tomatoes have been roasted, it's time to start preparing your soup. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to lightly oil our Dutch oven, and I have 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. Just going to want to melt this down real fast. Excellent. To that, I'm going to add the garlic and the onions, and we're going to add some spices. So I have 1 teaspoon of fresh thyme leaves, 1/4 of a teaspoon of crushed red pepper, give it a little pinch of salt, and we're going to add a cup of the fresh basil. And you're just going to want to cook this until the onions start to get a little translucent. Oh man, this is so aromatic. It smells amazing. Alright, so as you can see, the onions are translucent, so to that I'm going to add these beautiful roasted tomatoes. I also have a 28-ounce can of whole plum tomatoes, juice and all. And then 4 cups of chicken stock. You can use vegetable stock if you prefer. I just like to flavor chicken stock a little bit better. You're going to want to bring this back up to a simmer and then simmer uncovered for about 40 or so minutes. Guys, I wish you could be in this room right now because this smells incredible. But now it's time to start making this look more like a tomato soup. So thanks to my good friends over at Ace Cool for sending me over their emulsion blender. It's time to start blending this bad boy. So just gonna dip it in there, turn it on turbo, really blending this all together until it gets to that nice consistency. It should be really smooth. Alright, so after a couple minutes of blending it, you can see that it's gotten to that perfect consistency that you're looking for when making a tomato soup. But let's just give it a taste to see if it's properly seasoned. You know, it could just use just a little bit of salt. And you know what? Maybe a couple more cranks of some freshly ground black pepper. Alright, your soup is pretty much done. So now we gotta move on to the next step, which is making our 3-cheese grilled cheese. So I'm gonna put this on the stove behind me on a low simmer just to keep it cooking, but let's get started. So to get started with making your 3-cheese grilled cheese sandwich, you want to toast your beautiful bread. So I have 2 amazing slices of sourdough bread that are homemade. So if you're interested, drop a comment down below to see if you want us to show you how to make some sourdough bread. But I'm just going to toast one side in a cast iron pot or pan with a little bit of olive oil. And we're just going to get it just to golden brown in perfection. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to layer the cheese on the other untoasted side and put it in the broiler so it gets nice and gooey and melty. So as you can see here, your bread is toasted to perfection. So I'm going to remove it from the pan, and now it's time to start loading it with your cheese. So I've got 3 cheeses here, like I already mentioned. First one being a good old-fashioned American cheese. I'm going to put 1 slice per bread. I'm actually going to rip these in half just to make sure all of the bread gets the cheese. Next is going to be pepper jack cheese, and these are just deli slices. You can pick this up at pretty much any grocery store. Next is going to be some sharp cheddar. Alright, and then we're going to transfer this over to a pan and put it in the oven on broil until it gets nice and melted and bubbly. Your meal is pretty much ready, but just to add a little bit of color, I'm going to do a very light drizzle of some cream and use my spoon to swirl it around in there. Just a couple cranks of freshly ground black pepper. Now, for the grilled cheese, let's cut into that. Now, as always, we got to give this a try and test out that crunch factor. Good as I expected, just like Mom used to make. And there you guys have it, the perfect meal for a rainy day. Thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, my name is Sebastian Regester, and this is Regester for Dinner. If you enjoyed today's video, can't wait for us to cook something else up, make sure you smash that like button, comment below, and subscribe. But until next time, stay hungry, my friends.